Where's everybody from? And what's the weather like there? It's a cool time of year when things start switching over from unbearably hot to unbearably cold. We get those for those few weeks where are really, really nice in the fall and spring. Cool and sunny. You can't say it's cool in Vegas very much. We went through there not too long ago and it was blazing hot. Nice. Sunny in Boca. Yeah, it stays warm and sunny there unless you have a storm coming in. All right, BC. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we had an event on Thursday that was very well attended and had a we actually it was interesting because we usually get a lot of questions during the event, but this particular event we had a lot of people just kind of sit and listen. We went over an awful lot of information, and subsequently, I think all the questions came via email. We got a lot of questions, and in fact, we got a lot of people who just sent us an email to thank us for the information because it was very enlightening for a lot of people about how the market makers tend to move the markets, and then they do it in a very rhythmic fashion. So they're moving the markets uh, in order to create uh, a reaction from us little guys so that they can just continually pick our pockets because they know what we're going to do all the time because they actually create these events that cause us to act emotionally. Okay. And so they know that all of us retail traders have no ability to really manage our emotions. We don't even know what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And so they're just waiting for new people to come into trading all the time to then manipulate the market so they can manage our emotions, or so they can manipulate our emotions, and then wipe us out, and then wait for the next group to come in. So good morning, Gashan. So I was able to identify an area in all markets. One of the things that I saw the most in the emails that we received after the event was, does this work with stocks? Um, we trade futures in our trade room, and I've been a futures trader pretty much my entire trading career. But the question was, does this work, this type of trading that I'm about to go over with you, does it work with stocks? And in fact, it works very well with stocks. It works with anything that is liquid enough to give the market makers the ability to manipulate the market. If there's enough liquidity, if there's enough available assets out there for sale at any given time that they can buy up and then manipulate, it works. Okay? So whether it's futures or Forex or stocks, doesn't matter. All of this holds true because these guys they don't care who they get money from. They're going to manipulate all of us. All right. So that was probably the primary or the biggest asked questions in our emails over the last couple of days. All right. So I'm going to approach this event here as something that I'm sure that most of you saw the event on Thursday. You're here because you understood what I was talking about, and you felt that this potentially has some real merit for you, and maybe something that you want to explore a little bit more to go ahead and get started and make the investment to step into this type of trading. It is a high probability trade setups, but the downside of it is, the other side of it being high probability, is we're not going for the big home runs. We're not going to try to make a bunch of money. We're not trying to get rich at trading. We go in and we take our little piece out and we do it over and over and over again. We're like piranhas. All right, we go get a little piece and we then jump back and let and get out of it and get safe. Okay? So there's a lot of safety involved in what we do. Okay? The most dangerous place for you to be as a trader, the most dangerous place is to have a trade on. Okay? So to reduce the amount of danger, we need to stay out of the markets as much as possible. Okay? So I think you guys that have been trading for a while, which many of you have, a lot of people usually find us after a longer period of time and they've been trading for a while and they're struggling and they're finding out that trading isn't what they thought it was. They end up finding us and learning the realities of trading. Okay? All right, so on Thursday, I taught you about this little dot right here. This little dot is a tremendous qualifier for a trade setup. Okay, and since I already did this on Thursday, and you all have access to the video, I'm just going to assume you're all here because you've seen the video and you understand what we're doing, and now you want to know how to do it. Okay, so that's how we're going to proceed today. I'm not going to do a whole big slideshow today. This little dot right here has an entire trading system in that dot. Okay, if you, after our presentation, if you went and looked up other volume spread analysis trading systems, you saw some very complex and complicated systems. We have boiled that down to only the most important information in that system. Okay, only the information that we need to help us place highly qualified trade setups that have a high probability of going in our favor. Okay, so I'll tell you what we're looking at right here. This is a good place to start. All right, this is our basic trade setup for us that we see almost every day in almost every instrument that we trade in some fashion or another. Okay, now I'm going to go through this relatively quickly, and then we're going to go through it step by step in just a few minutes. Okay. All right, so we have a channeling. For those of you that saw the volume spread analysis presentation on Thursday, you know what's going on here, right? Everybody knows what's going on here. This is an area of distribution. This is an area where the market makers are making their profits right here. Not here, here. The market makers have already made their profits on the way up to this point. Now what they've done at this point is they've clamped down on distributing anymore. They are still the major holders of the asset. Okay? They are the ones that can still manipulate the markets because they're holding most of the available assets. And at this point, they stop selling. What happens when basic supply and demand, when there's a big demand for something and there's very little supply, what happens to price? This is basic economics, and it happens every day in the markets. All right? When there's very little supply and a lot of demand, price shoots up. Right? So that's all they're doing is manipulating They're holding up, and then suddenly price starts shooting up. Now, we start seeing these numbers start climbing, and the rate at which price climbs, we can identify where the market makers start doing their thing. And this dot helps us do that. This dot tells us that there's a churning activity inside of this bar. When I say churning, what that means is instead of the bar going from a low here and then it just looks like, if you just look at a bar on a static chart like we're looking at here, you don't know anything about that bar. You know nothing about that bar except for where it opened, where it closed, the high of the bar, and the low of the bar. That's it. That's all the information we have by looking at a static chart. This dot right here tells me exactly how the volume came into that bar. Okay, and it tells me, that one dot tells me a whole lot about what was going on right up here as price increased and got near the close of the bar. Okay, this tells me that in the beginning of this bar, the buyers were well in charge, and the sellers were hanging around up here just waiting. As soon as price got up here, and at least beyond the midpoint of this bar, the sellers finally jump out of the grass. They've been just laying in wait, right? And they jump out of the grass and they suddenly start selling. Well, the buyers didn't know anything about this. The buyers are still buying. The sellers are selling. Now we get a churning action in here. Well, what happens? Because the buyers have been buying from all the way down here, right? They've been buying, and then they reach this point and they're like, okay, we've gone pretty far. Maybe we're overbought. That's what this pink outline is. This is an overbought condition. This tells us that exhaustion is likely to be setting in. What happens when price gets exhausted every single time in every market? What happens? When price gets exhausted, it will pull back. It will relax. It will settle a little bit. You call it consolidation or retracement. Okay? And it happens over and over and over again in every market, whether it's stocks or futures or Forex, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you could call it a correction, but in my mind, Dennis, it's not so much as a correction. I think of it in a different way, because a correction assumes that there's something wrong. If you look at any trend, you're going to see the push and a little bit of a pullback and then a push again, okay? So what I see when I see that is people looking at that going, I'm not sure. Let's see what happens. Let me relax a little bit here. Let me get out. Let me watch and see what happens. Because there are people sitting there waiting to take advantage of what they feel is an overbought condition to start selling. All right? Once price gets overbought, they realize, hey, there's an opportunity here. I feel like at this point, price has to pull back. So I'm going to start selling here because we're overbought. This is probably as high as price is going to go for a while. So here's an opportunity. All right? Now that's pretty much what we're doing, but we're using more information than just price being overbought. It's profit taking for sure, Dennis. It's absolutely profit taking. As price gets up here, people start taking profits and they start bailing out. Or more likely, anybody that was short in here is either getting stopped out or they're freaking out and getting scared. Look at the length of this bar relative to these bars. And to be honest, I don't even remember where I got this. I just grabbed a picture, an image. This happens all the time. Look at these bars and then look at the length of this bar. This bar is a manipulation that causes people to react or overreact or get fearful or freak out or jump out of a trade because they don't know how far it's going to go. They think they're on the wrong side, and then price starts pulling back. All right, so there's a lot of things going on in here. The most important thing that's going on in here is that the market makers that have created this move will take all of those available assets that they had to make this move possible, and they're going to suddenly just dump them on the market. They're going to sell them all at this point up here. They're just going to dump them. Well, now what happens? First, we had the demand was higher than the supply. So that created this price increase. Suddenly, the supply overwhelms the demand. Well, what happens then? Basic economics. Supply overwhelms demand, price drops. Right? We have more stuff than there are people to buy the stuff. So to get rid of the stuff, what do we have to do? We have to lower the price. Simple, basic economics is all we're working with here. There's no magic to this. It's very basic. Okay? Any questions so far about this? I spent a lot of time on this on Thursday, but I'm willing to take a couple of questions along the way today, and then I'll take as many questions as you have when we get to the end. This is the most basic stuff in trading that is mostly ignored by most traders because everybody's trying to get rich at trading. Everybody's trying to say, okay, I want to be a trader because I want to be a professional trader. I want to do it for a living. I want to quit my job. I want to play golf. I want to travel the world. And if I can do that with trading, trading looks real simple. I can do that. This is you have to understand, Thomas, did you look at any time frame, Anil? Any time frame. Did you watch the webinar on Thursday? If you're waiting to identify when supply is overwhelming demand, you're going to miss it. But that's what this dot is giving us a heads up. Okay, this dot is giving us a heads up that it's probably happening now. Okay, this dot tells us that there was a lot of buying, and then during the life of this bar, and I'll show you on a video here in a minute, during the life of this bar, as this bar is growing, this dot pops up. That dot tells us there's a whole bunch of selling going on all of a sudden. That's how we know. That's how we know that this is likely the beginning, or at least the beginning of the sell-off, because they're fighting inside of here. Now, the sellers are not exhausted. They've been sitting here. No, the dot appears on the actual bar, intra bar. As soon as the condition exists, the dot prints. I'll show you in a minute, Frank. The buyers have been well in control here. The sellers have been sitting here just waiting. Just waiting. They're not exhausted yet. They know where they want to start selling, and it's up in here. Whether it's the sellers or the HFTs, the market makers or whatever, they know. They're really smart, and they hire really smart people to program really smart supercomputers, and then they put those supercomputers inside the exchange or very near the exchange because they have all the money and they can do anything they want. So we just have to try to figure out what they're doing that just prior to when they do it or as they're doing it, so that we can anticipate the same reaction that they're anticipating. Okay, so we don't want to trade with them. We don't want to trade against them. We want to trade right after they start doing what they do. Yeah, it should be in your email, Lewis. If you didn't get it in your email, maybe Connor can post the link for you here. Yeah, so I'm skipping a whole lot of stuff today because I already went over it on Thursday, and I'm not going to do it again. The assumption is that everybody that's here today had a chance to look at, was either at the event on Thursday or they've already watched the video. If not, that's fine, but you'll have to kind of play catch up. All right, so where am I? This is what we know about this bar. We also have this. This is our speed tick indicator. This actually started the whole thing for me. This indicator is reading the rate of orders being processed in the markets. Being processed through the markets. Not orders, but orders that have been filled. Okay, that's two different things. You've heard of the book or level 2? Yes, I am, Mel. But I got to get through this first. I said I would do this first, and then we'll do that. Slides, I haven't moved the slide yet. You see my mouse? This isn't going to be much of a slideshow. I'm doing a lot of explanation because this image right here tells us a whole lot of information. I could scroll around on a chart and whatever, but I don't really need to because most of what you need to know is right here. All right, this is called a speed tick. Speed tick is measuring the rate of the orders being processed relative to the rates they were being processed not too long ago. When I say process, that means that the exchange, they've gone through the exchange. Level 1, level 2, or the book data is the stuff that you see on your trading domes, the numbers in the columns about resting orders, people that are placed orders and they're sitting there waiting to get filled at that price. Okay, a lot of games being played in level 2. I'm not interested in level 2. I want to see what's being processed through the markets. People that are actually intent on buying and selling. All right, so that's what I've done with measuring the rate at which the orders are being processed. And I do not care about volume. I don't care how many orders are getting processed. I care about how fast they're being processed, because if they go at a rate that is highly unlikely us retail traders can trade that fast, if they're going through that fast, then they must be being placed mechanically, meaning like the supercomputers are doing it. All right? And if that's the case, this dot, you ask me, how do I know? I know that it's very likely the orders are being placed by computers, and I know there's a lot of buying and selling going on with the selling overtaking the buying. All right, these simple indicators. I went to a lot of trouble. It took me a lot of time to develop these, to make these so simple to use. They're just right here on just right in front of your face. On the open of this bar is where I shorted this. Okay? We have what's called our rock star. Our rock star is a confluence of several indicators. In this case, the most important part of that rock star is the fact that we have a divergence between price and momentum. And this rock star tells me that even though we have a short-term upward trend here and that price is climbing, momentum has actually already shifted directions. That's what this star is saying. So you tell me, if I have a strong push where exhaustion is likely to be setting in because price never just goes in one direction all the time, right? It's always going to have these series of pullbacks we talked about a few minutes ago. If price is pushing up, we get into an overbought condition. We get orders that are being processed through the exchange so fast that it almost always has to be something mechanical doing it. And we get a churning action. What does that tell you about the direction of price, or the likelihood that price is going to continue up before it pulls back? And now we factor in the fact that momentum, all our momentum indicators has told us, nah, momentum has dropped off. This is our entry right here. Here's my trade right here. I shorted this right here. Now, I may have actually shorted it here, and that comes with some practice. And that's what I'm going to talk about in a little bit, Mel. I'm going to show you how to practice using the playback utility for NinjaTrader 8. All right? So this is all we do. And we do it over and over and over again. We do something very small. We get very good at it. We do it over and over and over again. There's not a lot to learn. Okay? Making donuts. Exactly. There's not a lot to learn. Now, that being said, doesn't mean you don't have to practice. Doesn't mean you don't have to hone your skills. When you think about something like golf, right? There's not a lot to learn. You learn how to hold the club, you learn how to swing the club, and you learn how to hit the ball, and you know that there's a hole down there at the other end of the fairway where you want the ball to go. Okay, so it's simple, right? Golf is simple. There's not a lot to learn to understand what it is that you're supposed to be doing. There is a lot to practice. Okay? So that's what you need to do. Learn something very small, very simple, a little chip shot. You want to be the best in the world at a chip shot. Now, here's a trade we took. When did I do this? I don't know. These are just some random trades. These are all trades that we took. Some of them are different or better than others, and I didn't show the entire buildup. What I did do on both sides of the chart is so you can see what it is that you've been missing. If you're just looking at charts, and maybe you're trying to be a trend trader, or you're trying to do some other type of trading style, every day you look at charts, every time you're doing that, you're having these setups right in front of you, and because you don't know what's happening, you're missing out on a lot of very easy trades. Okay? So I put the blank charts on the left and our charts with indicators on the right. All right? Now, first thing you're going to notice, price dropped hard here and suddenly stopped. For what seems like no apparent reason, it was dropping hard and stopped, changed direction, and shot straight up. Now, what in the world could cause that? Well, look, you don't know here. You had no indication on this bar that something was happening. But I can show you that if you watch Thursday, what's happening here, right? We're channeling, and then suddenly we get a few bars, and we get this down thrust climax bar. See that dot? This tells me that this is a climax churn bar. You guys learned about that on Thursday. If you didn't, go watch it again. We've got a speed tick. Now, this particular speed tick I don't trade. And we'll have to tell you that another reason why. There's three levels. There's a white one, little white ones, medium blue, and a dark blue, okay? Don't trade this. Price opened here. Also, we're oversold. Notice that? Price opened here and started climbing. Okay, there's no trade here for me only because I'm a somewhat conservative trader. Other traders in the room probably traded this. If you wanted to, that's fine. Why is there no Rockstar? Because there's no momentum shift here. We didn't have a setup here. I did not trade this. All right. The momentum was still saying that price was dropping. So I did not pick up any divergence here. So that's why there's no Rockstar. Now let's move on. Let's watch. Look at these bars going from black to a lighter color. Look at the strength of this push right here. This bar has a pullback alert on it. I got to fix it. That's actually a bug. The first one, the number one, the blue one, it's not moving right. It's supposed to print up here. So I got to get that fixed. But anyway, it's there. You can see it. I mean, it's not it's just a visual thing. So we have a pullback alert on this bar that suggests that this is a churning bar. We have a speed tick. We have a bar that's relatively bigger than a lot of these other bars. This bar has turned a lighter shade of black or gray, suggesting that we're getting closer to exhaustion. Exhaustion is becoming more imminent. We have a speed tick that suggests that this bar, along with several of these others, are mechanically manipulated. Now, just because we have a speed tick does not make it a setup. The speed tick is an alert that says, look at this. The big boys are very interested in manipulating this, and we'll know when they're finished. And that happens with the dot. Okay? Now, I want you to notice on the open of this next bar, see this star right here? There's our rock star. Watch where it prints. If I can scroll back here. Hold on. On the open of the bar, our information is right in front of us right now. There's no second guess. All there is when you're here, when I'm here and I'm watching this, you don't figure I got my finger on the trigger because all of this stuff is setting up. It's a real easy step-by-step process to qualify these trades. I want exhaustion. I want to see that there is some fighting between the buyers and sellers. I want to see that the market makers are manipulating the market. And then all I need to push the trigger is the open of this bar to have a rock star. So I got a speed tick, rock star. And I shorted this. This is actually a naked rock star because there's no resistance behind it. All right, and then down it goes. And I don't need it to go very far. I just need an edge in the market where I know that there's a high probability of something specific happening. All right, so here we are again. What's happening right here? And here. And here. What's happening? 7 ticks. What's likely happening? I just showed you on that chart, right? Uh-oh, where'd it go? Let's see. There. What features? Nothing. You don't need any specific features. You just add them. You can actually use the free version of NinjaTrader. We have a lot of people that will use NinjaTrader free version, put our indicators on NinjaTrader free, and trade their accounts at other brokerages. But they use our the NinjaTrader charts for free to make that decision, and then they place it on whatever brokerage account they want to use. So many people, and this is interesting, I guess I was one of them. So many people believe that you have to chart and trade at the same company. You don't have to do that. You can do it. You can chart with one charting service and trade with another. I mean, it doesn't use the free version if you want to. So we've got, okay, this was a quiz I asked, and nobody answered me. What's happening here? Nope, this right here. From Thursday. Anybody who was here Thursday? Nope. Who was here Thursday? You were paying attention. There you go. Thank you, Steve. It could be accumulation, Frank. We're not sure. It could be accumulation or distribution because they look exactly the same. All right? They look exactly the same. They do it quietly. They don't want anybody to know. They do it on relatively low volume. This is where they're making their profits, Lynn, exactly. And then all of a sudden, what's this? This bar. There's our pullback alert. Did you see when this printed? Somebody asked me about, does it print after the bar closes? Let's back that up a little bit. Let's see where it prints. Oops. I had this on, I actually did this on fast forward motion. Let's see if I can just play it. Watch. Oh, there it is. Intra bar. Intra bar. And then, look at this confluence. Oversold, speed tick, pullback alert. This bar opens with a rock star. And let's just guess what happens. I shorted this on the open of this bar. And all I need is that. That's it. I'm done. In, out, done. Money is in the bank. I'm now out of the most dangerous place to be in trading. And that is swimming in the waters with the sharks. I'm a piranha. I went in, I got my little piece, and I got out. And now I don't care what happens. And you get good at that, and you do it over and over and over again. So I can show you this all day. Yeah. Well, let's see. We're either waiting on a bus, or we're piranhas, or we're lions just waiting in the grass. Mice. Yeah, well, we're ferocious mice. Yeah. So here it is again. Look at this drop. Now, if you were here, would you know what to do or when to do it if you didn't have these on your charts? This is stupid simple, isn't it? So that's why I'm really, glad to see that those of you that were here on Thursday are back to, go ahead and get started on this and learn how to go ahead and let's get this going. We're dropping hard. We're oversold. We've got a speed tick. We've got a pullback alert that tells us that price dropped and then the buyers started getting involved down here. That's what this little dot tells us. Go do me a favor. If you've got any doubt about how sophisticated this little dot is, go study other volume spread analysis indicators and trading systems. Okay? Go study those, and then you'll understand how much information, how much data is being collected inside that dot. And we only give you the data that is pertinent to making a trade decision. So price drop, bar opens, rock star, guess what I did right there? Bam, my little piece. I got my little piece. And then I got out. All right. Can I remove the other indicators and just leave speed tick, obos, and rockstar? Absolutely, Frank. It's up to you. Now, I like to leave support and resistance on there also, because we have two different setups. We have a rockstar setup, where on a rockstar setup, I'm not going to need as much confluence as I need for a naked rockstar setup. Okay, and we'll get into those two things a little bit more after you've joined us, and we'll get you the videos, and we'll have some training sessions. We've got a few people that joined us on Thursday and Friday, and then I'm expecting a lot of you guys are going to be wanting to join us this weekend. So next week we'll have a training session to teach you the difference between a rockstar setup and a naked rockstar setup. The naked rockstar setup is relatively new, because the setup is so strong that I didn't, for many years, and those of you that have known me for many years, I would never take a trade unless I had support or resistance behind my trade. Okay, and that's to help me in the event that the trade goes against me. And that has been my mantra for many years, until we came up with the Rockstar. When we came up with the Rockstar, it was still my plan. Always, always, always have support or resistance behind your trade to help in case the trade starts going against me. So I sat there for many months trading the Rockstar just that way. But I watched it, and I started thinking, you know what? Man, that thing works and works and works. It doesn't matter if there's support or resistance behind it, because it just freaking works. So what I did do, though, is to make sure I had as much confluence as possible. If it wasn't going to have support or resistance behind my trade, get as much confluence as possible if I'm going to take a trade without support and resistance, okay? So this is the point of entry here. Now, I do a lot of practicing trying to make sure if the bar opens here, but then price backs up a little bit, I'll actually try to get a fill up in here. I'll take a better fill if I can get it. So if this opens and backs up, I'll enter here. All right. Let's see. Can I simply only because your indicators are on the chart already? How do you know when to get out? I hard target, Bill. That's how I know. I hard target out. I'm a piranha. I have a mission. I'm going in for that 5-tick winner. That's it. That's all I want. I don't care if it goes 100 ticks, because I want to get out of the market as fast as I can, and I want to take a winner with me. And I put it in the bank, and I get really, really good at it. And if I did it with one contract, I'm going to be so good at it that my account is going to begin to grow a little bit. And when it gets to a certain point, I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to do it with two contracts. All right? Does it take into account trend? Well, I got to have a trend. I got to have a trend, or there's no trading. If we're channeling, if it's one of those trading days where price is just channeling, you know, where nothing's really happening, it's just a quiet day, I'm just going to sit there and wait, and nothing's happening. So yeah, we need a trend, and the stronger, the better. Percentage of certainty. Well, indicators only indicate that conditions exist, right? So there's no measurement of percentage of certainty. There is 0% of any certainty in trading, Prasanna. I don't know how long you've been trading, but if anybody is telling you that there are any percentages of certainty in trading, they're lying to you. All we can do is take the information that's available and make the best decision we can with that information. Just like life, there are no certainties at all. Lewis, I try to, but the interesting thing is that I have to identify that the bar opened with a rock star, right? So by the time I see a rock star and I place my trade, there's going to be maybe a second or two before I get my trade on, right? Well, by then price can back up. So I enter on a trading dome, not on a chart trader. Chart trader's just too slow. So I use a trading dome. So if I'm attempting to enter on the open of the bar, but it backs up, I'll take it up in here. Which churn number indicator is the most reliable to wait for? I don't have one that's more reliable. It's just different information. So for example, Frank, there's a 1, a 2, and a 3. 1 is called a churn bar. 2 is called a climax bar. A 3 is a combination churn and climax bar. Okay, and I went over that on Thursday, so you can go watch the video again on Thursday. I only trade from 9 to noon, Bill. 9 a.m. to noon. I want to trade when the markets are most liquid, right? They're most liquid between 9 and noon. I want to trade when everybody else wants to trade. See, we need volume. We need liquidity. We need for the marketers to be interested in trading, right? If nothing's going on, well, why would the market makers be in the market? So 9 to noon is only time I trade. Me personally. Now, a lot of people like to trade, and they want to trade in the afternoons. But I practice in the afternoons, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. I'll show you how I do that. In a strong trending day, any continuation with trend setup? Well, that would be a kind of a different trading system, but what I would suggest is our system is excellent for trend traders that like to get in on the longer trends. If you're scaling, if you have multiple contracts on that trade, our system is excellent for scaling. So if you're in this trend and you want to know when to start taking some profits, here's your place right here. because price is about to pull back. Now, here's the thing I don't know. I do know with a high degree of probability that price is going to pull back. I don't know how far. I don't know if it's going to pull back just this far or if it's going to be a full-on reversal. I don't know. But if I was a trending trader and I wanted to know where to scale, where to take some profits, it'd be right here. All right, here's another one. Oh, look. Okay, so right here. Look at this push. Beautiful. Okay, so what's happening right here? Anybody? 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 Bueller? Bueller? What's happening right here? Right in here. Or distribution. Exactly. And now suddenly we get this breakout. This is exactly what I showed you on Thursday. This is trades we just took the other day. All right, bars, we start seeing this exhaustion setting in. You have speed tick, pullback alert. But look, this bar open without divergence, meaning no rock star, meaning no trade. Okay, so we have a lot of confluence here suggesting that exhaustion is setting in, but no setup yet. So I did not trade that. Still didn't trade, although we're still getting a lot of this activity. There's the rock star. Look how strong this push is. You know exhaustion is going to set in. Open of the bar. We have divergence. And gee, let's see what happened. Oh, look. It backed up. If I got filled up in here, it was a winner. Might have been a loser too. If you hesitated, this was a loser. Okay, so I'm not here to tell you that every trade we take is a winner. Hold on, let's see. Have you considered a breakout of the higher low of the first black bar as an entry? Yeah, because generally yes, Bob, but I'm still going to wait. If it was this bar, probably not. Probably not, because it's not much of a breakout, right? If we were pushing up a new high, it's probably Pacific time, Alan, because when I did this, I'm in Southern California right now. Yeah, I actually didn't realize I had done that at the time. So yeah, that's what it is. All right, so here, Bob, I probably would not, because look, this is really inside of it. You might consider this a breakout. Of course, obviously, this wouldn't be high of the day, but if it was, I'm probably going to want a little bit more push than that if I had the trigger here. But this would be something I would. I'm probably going to trade this. Again, it's going to depend on the conditions and how this bar got formed. If it just went from open and just kind of chugged along and then closed, and then we got a rock star with the high of the day right behind it, not so much. I want to see this, right? I want to see a strong push. I want to know that exhaustion is imminent. Prasanna, I'm sorry, I skipped over your question. If your indicators are based on VSA, the indicators got to be more certain in their indications relative to other free open indicators out there. I use the VSA from quite some time. They are the best indicators with most accuracy, which gives leading indication, but it is time consuming and monitor consistently. Yeah, Prasanna, I'm not doing anything new. I'm making something very old that's been around for a long time, easy to use, to see, to understand, and to make very quick decisions from. I didn't invent volume spread analysis. I just came up with a way to make it easy to use. Yeah, it does, Bob. That's just why we use the high and low of the day as minor support and resistance. Yeah, it happens a lot, doesn't it? That and a bag of chips. You're funny. Oi. All right, there's another winner. Same thing. I could show you this all day. So really, all you got to do is get good at one thing, do it over and over and over again, practice it like crazy, and watch your account grow slowly, and then add more contracts. It is so stupid simple. I don't know why people believe this has to be so difficult. Oh, no. Possible Rockstar? I suppose you could build one, Frank. But here's the thing, an alert. I'm trying to think. Possible Rockstar. Well, we don't know about divergence. We don't know until the bar closes whether we had a divergent condition or not. So that's going to be really hard to say, because divergence can actually form on the last tick of a bar. You know? So I don't know that that would be possible. Best thing to do is just pay attention and be ready, which is what I do here. You know, this is why this is so important to me, to see a big push like this. If I'm here, right, and I'm paying attention, and I have this bar that suddenly gets overbought, that's this pink outline, and then I get a speed tick, and then I get a pullback alert, where do you think my mouse is? I'm watching price, and I got my mouse right there on my trading dome with my finger on the trigger waiting for this bar to open, because I've got this heads up right here. This is telling me pay attention. Right here, you think I'm doing, I may not even have my mouse in my hand. Right here, there's nothing happening, nothing going on, nothing to tell me anything is imminent. And then suddenly, this. And that's all I need. Over and over and over again. It's amazing. You don't have to learn a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of people are. We get a lot of automation people contacting us, and I'm not an automation guy because I'm a much better trader than the computer ever will be. Mostly people that want to automate trading are looking for an easy way to not be accountable. But I'm a trader. I'm not an automation guy. Nothing personal. That's just me. All right. So why do I trade for just 2 ticks or just 5 ticks? People are like, well, you can't make any money at that. Well, I beg to differ. It's because we get stuck in these mental traps, these traps of people telling us that you can't make money on short trades, and that you've got to be a trend trader to make any money. The thing they don't tell you about being a long-term trend trader is you have to make any money at it, you have to trade multiples. You have to scale out. You cannot and will not ever become, or okay, I'm going to qualify this. Yes, maybe there are some, But in my experience, long-term trend traders will never become professional traders trading a single contract. Here's how you grow to become somebody who can generate a regular income. You do something very small. You do it over and over and over again. You get really, really, really good at it, and you add a contract to your trade. Now, these are single trades. This is a single trade. And maybe you do 2 or 3 or 4 a day. Tell me those numbers. Now, these are after your fees, right? These are after paying commissions and all the other fees. So why is it that so many people think you can't make money on these real short, quick trades? I've been doing it a long time. And we have a lot of people that have been doing it for a long time. All right, before I get into the stuff about the playback utility, I'm going to throw this up there for everybody. Oh, shoot. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, yeah, I can do this. All right, so we've got a special for all of our indicators that we use for the trade room. We also going to give you a unlimited access to the trade room for as long as you want, whenever you want. We have a training program I was talking about. We got people that are going to be starting on the training program next week that got in with us on Thursday and Friday. If we have enough people, I'll come in and actually help you get started on it. We have a weekly mentoring session on Wednesdays where I don't talk about the mechanics of what we do. This is what I talked about today. The mechanics of what we do is only really about 20% of what you need to know to get good at trading. The other 80% is all the other stuff. The stuff that you don't know that you need to know. These are what we call it is our aha sessions. I had these series of ahas that came to me when I realized that everything that I had been struggling with for 7 years was not true. That if I just treated trading the way I treated everything else I ever became good at in my life, I could get good at this trading thing. And that's exactly what happened. So this started a series of ahas for me. And one aha led to another, led to another. And so I share those every week on Wednesdays to the Einstein members. We also have a new package for NinjaTrader 8 called our Essential Add-on Suite. There's about 8 add-ons to make using NinjaTrader 8 easier, more efficient, and honestly more fun, more visually pleasing. For those of you that do use Market Replay, we have a data downloader that's a standalone product where you can download as many days and contracts as you want in one download. Now we actually included that in our Essential Add-on Suite. All right. Oh, Connor's running us $100 off for the first 3 today. So $45.99. He did tell me. He just typed it in there. Good on you there, Connor. Let's talk about that next time. Yeah, the add-ons. Yeah, the add-ons are cool, and we've got some more coming, Graham. We're working real hard on some more. So you get all of that for free, plus priority support. My door's always open to Einsteiners that need help. So we've got that to offer you. If you got any questions about any of this, hit us up at support@secondbraintrading.com, and Connor will talk to you. If you want to talk to him right now, if you have questions right this minute, go to our website and hit the chat, and Connor's just sitting there waiting for you. and to answer questions. See if you get your money back, Steve. We hear that a lot, and it breaks my heart to hear it. Um, but I was also a victim of some of those egos. For many years, I gave away a lot of money to those egos. Yeah, I'm sorry you did. So here's from, we have a lot of Einsteiners that have come in. Um, it used to be called the VIP program, um, but we've renamed it to the Einstein to kind of go along with our second brain trading um, rebranding of what we do. We used to call it Bunt, but Bunt really doesn't express as much about it as you might need to know. So we kind of rebranded it as Second Brain, uh, so that it kind of takes some of the pressure off of managing your emotions. We kind of let the our trading system handle all of that for you. Yeah, Frank, they're free. Send us an email and we'll get you hooked up with it. We sent out a couple of emails already uh, to our VIPs that you get the essential add-on suite for free. Yeah, it's really hard, isn't it, Edward? Here's one thing that I think so many people forget to do. They hear something that sounds good and they want it to be true, so they don't do enough research. Do a research on whatever system that you're considering, and just Google around and see what you can find other people are saying. Now, here's the thing. Typically, people don't go online and say good things about things. That's not the way the internet works. But what they do say is if they will go online because they've had bad experiences. Google around and see how many people have had bad experiences with whatever trading system or indicators or company that you're looking to deal with, including us. Okay? We've been doing this almost 10 years. You might think there was a lot of negative stuff about us, or at least some negative stuff about us on the internet. Over that period of time, you might think that would be likely with the thousands of customers that we have. So do yourself a favor and Google around before you buy anything. Now, if the Einstein is just you're just a little unsure and you'd rather start a little slower, we've got another one called the Scholar, and we got that on sale. Um, but it doesn't include a lot of the really good stuff the Einstein has, but it will let you get started a little slower. You won't save as much money. We will allow you to upgrade from Scholar to Einstein, but not for that price. You'll end up paying more for it. And if that's even too fast for you, then we can get you started with our what we call our Brain Boost, and you can see what's included in that. So everybody get a quick screenshot of that, because I'm about to leave that. And actually, I can leave that up because I'm just going to pull this up over here. I can just pull this up, and we can leave that back unless it's too distracting. Is that too distracting? We'll do a screenshot, and then I'll come back to it. It might be too distracting for some. Everybody do a quick screenshot. Oh, by the way, if you want to hang out with us next week in the trade room, you're welcome to. I'm sure you saw this, and there's the registration link. Connor can put that in there for you, so you can just click on it if you want to register for a free week only next week. We're not going to just extend it indefinitely. We're going to let you do it next week. Oh, good, Lynn. Thanks. Yeah, we got you all squared away. I can. I can't do it here, but I can actually remotely connect to your computer and do it for you. We do that a lot. That's actually part of our service. Uh, we'll do it for the Einsteiners first, and then once we get through with all of them, then we'll help other people. But I can remotely log on to your computer, set everything up for you, and give you a quick rundown on how it all works together. So yeah, we actually do that as a major part because a lot of people are not computer literate. They just want to trade, and so they don't want to struggle with NinjaTrader. They don't want to struggle with data. They don't want to struggle with importing indicator. They don't want to mess with all that, but it's necessary. So that's part of our service. Lynn, did I come on your computer? I don't remember. Uh, I do so many. I don't remember if I logged onto yours or because Lynn had a problem, and I don't remember if we were able to handle it via email or if I logged onto your computer. But I probably logged on to 10 people's computers last week, getting people squared away with issues that they were having. And usually the issue is with either Windows or NinjaTrader or data feed or something like that. Yeah, we try to help with that. We we have a lot of people come to us with their NinjaTrader problems because I guess we're just a little bit more personal than NinjaTrader is, and I've struggled with problems with NinjaTrader that I think their tech support staff hasn't struggled with, and I've had to find workarounds, and that's what I'm about to show you here is a workaround that I had to come up with because they're how'd that get over there? I thought all of these were on the different monitor. See if I can move them over here. Well, why didn't that move? Oh well, it doesn't matter. It'll only let me move one at a time. That's dumb. Oh, so Prasanna, see this file right here? This is an installation file. This right here is how you do it. See, if I double click this, it's going to do a setup, and it's going to install all of our indicators. So this is how it's done. Yeah, we did Frank for a while. We did TradeStation. TradeStation sucks, so we backed out of it. We used to do a version for TradeStation, but I just can't stand using TradeStation. It's such an inferior product that we ended up dropping the whole thing. I spent tens of thousands of dollars developing the system for TradeStation, and it was so bad that I ended up just taking a loss on it. Yeah, ChartTrader is good still for more swing type trading, I guess. For day trading, when you have to make pretty quick decisions, um, the trading dome is so much faster. And I know if you've been using ChartTrader, you think it's really fast, but we've had a lot of people come into the room or start doing what we're doing, and they switch from ChartTrader to the trading dome, and then they realize, oh crap, this is a lot faster. We manage our trades. Okay, I never put on a trade and then sit on my hands. Okay, I always manage my trade relative to the current conditions. So the trade management is so much more efficient. Oh, am I not projecting? What happened? Hold on. Hold on just a second. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's see here. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. I didn't realize I wasn't projecting. I just looked over at my other screen and didn't see anything. Ah. All right. That better? Gershon, here's the problem. Trader in and out. And I can only do so much. And that was one of the things I noticed with working with TradeStation and those indicators is I was spreading myself too thin. And to support all those platforms is going to be very difficult. So we're, for now, very deeply entrenched with just NinjaTrader. And I don't have any immediate plans. I'm still open to it if the circumstances arise, but not so much right now. Prasanna, an NT is a brokerage. So you can do one of two things. You can get a brokerage account with NT, and then they'll provide you the data, or you can buy a data feed for, I don't know, $35 a month or something from Kinetic or a few other data providers. TD Ameritrade will not do it. We need some real high performance data. These indicators are exceptionally high performance indicators. And we rely on and count every single tick as it comes in, as fast as it comes in. And investing data is not the same as trading data. So we want to have the best and fastest and most accurate data possible in order for us to be able to pick up the signals that we're picking up. For example, if you try to run our indicators using IB from brokers, international broker, what the heck is it called? International broker? No, that's not right. IB. What the hell am I? Is that? Interactive. Thank you. Oh, brain fart. Some of our indicators won't even show up because the data is so poor. So we really need really good data. Stop. I did just have a birthday. Getting really, really close to 60 now. All right, let's look at this. So we have a utility in NinjaTrader called playback. So when you want to practice your trading, most of us are going to go in and we're going to open a chart and we're going to then add our indicators to the chart, right? No, Armin, I'm sorry, we don't have anything for Sierra charts. All right, so we don't have anything to populate this chart. So let's go in here and let's connect to the playback connection. Playback connection is like a VCR for your NinjaTrader, okay? As far as it will bring in the data as it actually came into the markets. Now, if you look here, you'll notice you have two different options. You have market replay and you have historical. You want to use market replay, okay? This data is going to be more granular. You're going to get a much better picture of what actually happened in the markets versus the historical data, okay? Now, I have already downloaded data with my downloader, replay downloader. I did this last night just so it wouldn't take too much time. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to just go to a day. Let's say we're going to go to the 8th. I think I downloaded this for the 8th. And let's just pick 9 a.m. Oops. Notice how it steps forward. Now, NinjaTrader 7 didn't do this. NinjaTrader 7 would just jump right to the time that you asked for, which for those of us that practice our trading and want to practice 10, 20, 50 setups in a trading session, this has caused us great anguish. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's the beauty of this, Grim, is that this is all free. This utility right here is free inside of NinjaTrader. I have two different feeds. I actually purchase Kinetic, and I have Rhythmic, and I have CQG. So I actually have three. So, but I have different accounts and different. So if you want to just go buy data to feed your charts, go buy Kinetic. That's the one I recommend. Very easy to set up, very efficient, very easy to add markets if you want to. All right, so you saw the whole point is I'm just going to show you some tips that I've learned to make the playback easier to use. I know a lot of you have felt a lot of frustration. I think Alan, are you still here, Alan? Alan got to the point where he just wouldn't even practice anymore because the playback utility was so frustrating that we felt that it was unusable when we first got it. So for me, now keep in mind, I am a person that trades for a living. So I don't have the option to say, oh, it's too hard, I'm not doing it. Or it's too frustrating, I'm not going to do it. Because I don't have, I have to trade for a living. So I have to figure out a way. And this is the stuff that I try to share with you guys. Because I know a lot of you aren't professional traders. You don't trade for a living. You do have options. You are kind of doing this in your free time. And you don't have the hours and hours and hours to devote to figuring this stuff out. Well, I do because I don't have any option. What's Freedom 55? Oh, a data feed? Oh, retirement? Well, I am kind of, well, that's another, I actually live on the road, just for those of you that don't know. I have a house in Atlanta, but because of this lifestyle that I've chosen and have become good at, I actually have the ability now to travel a lot. And this, I no longer have construction business, which kept me stuck in Atlanta. I'm able to travel a lot, and that's why I'm in Southern California now, um, and have been for about 3 months. Next week we're going to Texas. The following week we're going to Florida. Then we're back to Atlanta. Then we're going back to Florida. Then we're going to Colorado. Then we're back to Southern California. And I can do that because I've worked my way up to being a professional trader. And as long as I have internet, I'm working, right? So it does offer a nice lifestyle. But on the other side of that is I don't have the luxury of saying, oh, this is too hard, I'm not going to do it. I have to figure it out. All right, so I've been working at this, trying to make sure that I can get my practice time in without wasting a whole bunch of time. Now, the very first thing that you've got to use is, or that you've got to do, is make sure, the first thing you've got to do is make sure you've got one workspace open. I go on a lot of people's computers and try to troubleshoot for them and help them. It's actually one of my favorite things to do. I don't get paid for it though, so I can't do it a lot. It's one of my most favorite things to do. Invariably, if they're having issues with playback, they say, oh, it's too slow, or I can't make it move. I did everything I'm supposed to do. I hit the play button and nothing happens. Right? Anybody else have that? Yeah, I pack flat screen monitors that fit really nicely in my suitcase. I just take the base off, pat them with my socks and underwear, and they go. I have 2 monitors and a laptop that go everywhere with me. I actually have 2 laptops just in case one of them breaks. Now, I don't trade, just so you guys know, I don't trade on my laptop. I have a workstation set up in my house in Atlanta, and I trade off of that one. And I remotely log on to that computer and trade off of my workstation that's hardwired. So this version of NinjaTrader you see right here is on my laptop. I don't trade off my laptop ever. All right. TeamViewer, it's free and it's awesome. So when I log on and I try to help people with their playback, I almost always, first thing I look at is I go in, they say, oh, the charts aren't moving on everything, and the charts aren't moving. Here's the first thing I do. I log in and I go and I look at their workspaces, and almost always they've got like 10 workspaces open in the background, and they didn't even know they were open. Okay, most people don't know that when you don't close. Awesome. One more left for the $44.99. 2 people have already taken it, and then it goes, or $45.99, and then it goes to $46.99 after the next one is sold. So you think that this is the only workspace that's open. NinjaTrader actually, and you may not have opened another workspace for weeks. But if I closed NinjaTrader now and reopened it, I'm going to have 2 open workspaces. It's going to reopen every workspace that was opened when it closed. So here's the problem. If I'm working in this workspace now and I open a chart that I want to replay, but this other workspace is full of other charts, other instruments, it's going to confuse the crap out of NinjaTrader because it's trying to also populate those charts with data, and it gets stuck. It gets screwed up. So the very first thing you want to do is go in and close every workspace that you have open and only have one workspace open. This is going to help 80% of you right there. You probably don't know that you have other workspaces open in the background. Okay. The next thing, don't put any indicators on the chart. Okay. After you've downloaded the data, which I'm assuming you all know how to do, open a blank chart. Open a chart that you intend to use. Okay, and do not put a single indicator on it. Go to the day and time that you want. Oh, that's already set. Let me change this to 8 a.m. Now it's going to step through, but look how fast it steps through. Okay, it almost went immediately to 8 o'clock. I mean, that was really fast, right? Any laptop, Armin. I because I don't trade off my laptop, all I need is the ability to connect to my workstation. So any laptop can do that for me using TeamViewer. Look, let's see. This is my workstation at home. This is my TeamViewer. I'm actually on a big, powerful workstation at home. I was working on some stuff. This is our, if you guys do a training session with me, you'll see this again. This is what I use for a training workstation. Instead of using a chalkboard, I use this. So I was showing some people some stuff, and so that's why this is up. This is actually a drawing package. But this is on my workstation at home. TeamViewer. Sorry. TeamViewer. All right. So now, hold on. I have saved workspace with my instruments called blank worksheet. I open that, go to my times, go there quickly, then open, close, and I get to my time and open my regular worksheet. Yeah, kind of similar. Let me show you what I do here. All right, so that's exactly, when you say worksheet, I'm assuming you mean template. That's exactly what I'm doing here. So I've now gone to 8 o'clock. Now, instead of stepping through to get from midnight to 8 o'clock every 20 minutes or so, this goes really fast. Now I'm going to go, oh, wait, let me back up. All right, so I went to 8 o'clock. I've yet to see if the charts are going to move. So let's just see if the charts are moving. Okay, now we know the charts are moving. Before I add any indicators, you can see here that the charts are moving. Now I know I'm ready to start practicing. So now I'm going to go to a template, and I'm going to load the template, and it's going to load it up to that point. Okay, it's not going to scroll back. And now I can start my practice session. I usually practice at 4 times the speed. You want to work up to that? Because when you practice at 4x, 4 times the speed, your reflexes get much faster, so that when you're actually trading at 1 time the speed, regular, when you're trading, it seems very slow, and your reaction time is quicker. Kind of reminds me of when I was a kid and I was on the track team. I was a sprinter, and we trained with ankle weights on. And the funny thing is, you run around with ankle weights on for a while, and then you take them off, you feel like you're flying. This same kind of thing. Suddenly, it seems like you're working very slow. So let's say, okay, now, doggone it, I want to go back to 8 o'clock. Well, if I just go back here, don't ever use this slider. Don't ever, 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 ever use this slider. It's the worst thing ever. Right click, go to, and let's go back to 8 o'clock. But we've got the and I'm just doing this to show you the difference in the speed. Let's make it like 11. Because the interesting thing is once we get to where there's a lot of volume, what's going on? Won't let me type in here. Oh, there we go. Now watch. Watch how long this takes just to take me to a time. Now, it's going relatively fast during the overnight because there's not a whole lot of volume overnight. But watch what happens when we hit 9:30. See how long it's just taking us to get to 9:30? And then it's going to slow way down. And see, I just want to practice. Let's say I'm just wanting to practice a trade setup, and I want to practice the same one 3, 4, 5 times. Look how long it takes to get to 11 a.m. I'm just assuming, let's just say that's where the setup was. Look how much slower it's going now that we're in the high volume time. And I'm just sitting here, I'm just waiting. Want to practice my trading, but I spend most of my time sitting on my butt waiting. So instead of doing this, reading over trade plan, you can do that. So instead of doing this, this is what I do now. Let's say, doggone it, the setup was actually at 10:50, not 11, and I went past it. Now I got to go back and I got to do this whole thing again so I could go to 10:50. Well, screw that. I'm going to delete the chart. I'm going to create a new chart with no indicators on it. I'm going to go to $10.50 and watch how much faster it is without indicators. Yes. And now I'll load the indicators. Done. Now you can practice. This has just this little tip should help your practice sessions tremendously. You can get a lot more practice done. For those of you that are going to be joining us soon, we have videos teaching you how to practice. If you're in the Einstein program or you buy the Einstein package, then you get our Fast Forward program. And inside the Fast Forward program are videos to teach you how to practice and what you're supposed to be practicing. It does. It only goes back 24 hours. It only goes back to midnight. It doesn't go back 5 days. Yeah, it depends. You can download the data from here. Um, you go to historical data and you go to load down here at the bottom and you go to get market replay data and then you select your instrument, you select your day and you hit download. Kind of a pain in the butt. I don't have EAS. Well, let's see. Um, let me do something here. I'll show you EAS and our downloader inside of EAS or Essential Add-on Suite. Sorry, that I forget you guys don't know what that is. Let me pull it up on a different computer. I'm gonna team view over to this different computer. All right, so this is our Essential Add-on Suite, and the tool inside of that, you just go to Tools, and you go to Replay Data Manager, which probably opened on another screen somewhere. I got 4 monitors on that. Make sure I don't show you my email or something. And of course, I'll teach you all this when you guys join up with us. All right. So this is our downloader. It's inside of NinjaTrader now. So just say you go to select the NQ. We're going to add that. Let's select the ES. We're going to add that. Let's say we want to download for both of those, and we want to download, oh, I don't know, October 1st through October 3rd. We can just hit download. This is the one that's in the Essential Add-on Suite, Gershon, not the one that you're thinking of. You're not, the other downloader is a standalone application. This one is in the Essential Add-on Suite. Have you installed that, the Essential Add-on Suite? You would know. You're talking about the one that looks like this, right? This is the one you have. Yeah. This is we've been using this for years. But I just took this, I used the same database, but we've included it now inside of NinjaTrader. And so it just downloaded all of those. And you can put as many as you want. All right. There's a whole bunch of tools to this Essential Add-on Suite. We have the Add-on Suite Manager, Replay Data Manager, Theme Changer. We have chart tools that tell you the rollover date. You can put backgrounds on charts. You can change the background on any window. If you want more information about that, just send us an email and we'll get you hooked up. It's cheap too. Right now it's only like $8.95 a month. All right. What other questions can I help you guys with? This was a lot of information that we went over very quickly. We have all of this information in some form or another that we can lead you towards or help you with. Auto triggers. Yeah, we recorded this. Yes, sir. We recorded it. Connor will be sending it out. He's got to go fall out of an airplane first, and then he'll get it out to you. Yeah, don't believe me. That's what Marshall's saying. Don't believe me. I'm only here to show you the opportunities. Prove it to yourself. Google around. Find out about us. Find out about the trade room. Watch our trade of the day videos on YouTube. Wow, that was good timing. It's like we rehearsed, huh? I will probably take, I don't know, Marshall, how many trades do I take a day? 5, maybe, in the morning? Average? 4.2. Maybe 5-ish. Depends on the day. It might be 0, it might be 10, but I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe 5. Yeah, and that's me. There are other traders that take a lot more trades than I do. It depends on your risk tolerance and how you've defined your rules. Okay, you say prolonged trends, but I guarantee you, Bill, I could go back and I could look at those instruments and I could find the pullbacks inside those trends. I haven't looked at them, but I guarantee you they're there. My personal, uh, you could probably imagine if I'm making a living at this, it's pretty darn good, wouldn't you imagine? Why don't you ask some of the other traders? Those of you that trade with us in the trade room, do you have a percentage that you would like to share? I mean, I could tell you, Armin, that I'm about 85% win rate, but what's that good that going to do you? That's like having Tiger Woods sell you a set of golf clubs, and you go, well, how good are these golf clubs, Tiger? I mean, what's your success rate with them? Okay, so we have reported back 75 to 85% is what's been reported back to us by our traders. Yeah. Yeah, that's right in there with everybody that's been at it for, at least a few weeks. Well, I want you to be better than me, Armin. Uh, I love it when I get emails from people about their success rate and how well they're doing. And my goal is I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm not competing. I want everybody to be better than me. Connor, we still got that one left at the $100 disc, 45.99. Anybody buy that yet? One more. Okay. All right, we'll keep that one available until it's gone. You might want to hit up Connor on the website uh, if you want to try to get it, or if not, just go to the link there and you can buy it off of that. Well, that's what we're here for, Prasanna. We'll do all that for you and make every effort to make sure things are working for you. Is she still here? Um, a good example of exactly that. That's what I was helping her with um, earlier in the week. I don't think she's here anymore. Oh, thanks, Frank. Appreciate that. Could use it. Our indicators? Well, the only limitation would be then if you have issues with using a computer that just isn't up to speed. And if you have a computer what version of NinjaTrader? See, that will help you with that. And I don't know if you got help from us previously. Did we come onto your computer and try to help you? I mean, if we don't have time to help everybody that buys a single indicator from us because we have thousands and thousands of those. When we've been doing this for 10, by the way, we have licensed more indicators than any other NinjaTrader partner or ecosystem partner, whatever they call it. We have licensed more indicators than any of them, and I know this because their licensing application broke because it was unable to handle the number of licenses that we've distributed. So I had to create our own. Is our NT8 software buggy? Which software? There's always things that need to be tuned, but I got nothing that's buggy that I know of. So we have a number of our traders here. Do you guys have any questions for them? Yeah, but here's my thing with that. I don't have the luxury of just saying NT is full of shit and I'm just not going to deal with it. I have to learn how to deal with it. So I've figured out a lot of ways that things have to be done. And I try to help teach that to our traders in the trade room if we have issues or if people have come to our support desk when they're at their wits' end with NinjaTrader support. We'll still try to help. Yeah, I can try to help with that, but you're right. Heinz has a good point. It also could be your data provider. I mean your internet data provider. There's a lot of parts and pieces that go into this. Yep, exactly. That's exactly right. That's what we shoot for. So we'll get you back. Have I ever remotely logged on or Praveen logged on to your computer to help you out, Graham? I don't remember. I know that we have helped you with some issues, but I don't remember whether we had to do it hands-on or we're able to help you through the email. Praveen did, yeah. We can eventually get there. We just, you just have to strip everything away and start building it back up again. Praveen has a passion um, for these new cryptocurrencies. That's where his real love is. And as it turns out, he actually did a lot of analysis, cryptocurrency analysis for himself, but he shared that publicly on some of these cryptocurrency forums and whatever. Well, it turns out some outfit recognized that Praveen really knew what he was doing and what he was talking about, and they hired him. to make sure that they were investing in the right currencies. So he now does, it was his love on the one part, but on the other part is they let him work during regular hours. See, Praveen's in Australia, and he hated working night hours, which working with us, he had to work nighttime. He hated that, but he did it for many years. So finally, this opportunity came up, and he said, "I would stay with you guys if it was not that nighttime for me." But he finally just couldn't do it anymore. Yeah, yeah, we're real happy with him. Yeah, blockchain technology is so cryptocurrency is what everybody knows, but it's actually blockchain technology is where his sweet spot is. IP speed, internet provider speed, the faster the better. And it's more about bandwidth than speed. All right. So I buy the fastest and best I can get. If you're so slow that you have to ask about speed, you probably need to upgrade. Gigabit or megabit? I think you're being gigabit. Yeah, that's fine. I suggest that you do what I do, Armin, and have a workstation at home that's hardwired into your modem and pull up TeamViewer, log on to your workstation back at home, and trade on that workstation from your laptop. I don't trade stocks, Persona, so I couldn't answer that. Yeah, yeah, I got that, Gershon. Yep. I honestly, I can't answer that, Persona, but if you need me to help you with that, I do have a backdoor into NinjaTrader where I can ask questions for people um, and get answers. Uh, so once you sign on with us and we get you all set up, if you have questions like that, I can probably help you with it by contacting my people at Ninja. Yeah, it's running 24/7. I reboot it every now and then, just remotely. I do not trade forex, only futures. But that's me personally. There are a lot of forex traders. I just don't like the games that are played in forex. I know it's better than it used to be. Um, trade. I don't like trading against my broker. I just think the forex is kind of the wild west of trading. But I only trade futures. It applies to both. And I just never traded stocks. I'm a futures trader and I get everything I need out of futures. I've just never been a stock trader, and I don't have a good reason other than I've been trading futures for 17 years. I got into futures, I guess, because it was cheaper to trade. Of course, like everybody else, I started out with the E-minis. Yes, you get a lifetime trade room with Einstein. Yep. forever. Yeah, for the most part. That's my understanding. Again, I have um, tested stocks and our indicators on stocks to make sure that they worked as expected and all that. I have not spent a lot of time watching them though. Yeah, which is why a lot of people start and stay in futures, or what happens is a lot of people start in Forex because you can trade any amount. Um, and then they realize Forex is rigged, and so they move to futures. Yes, I moderate the trade room every day. Basically, it's me trading, and I just have a microphone, and I just talk about, whatever. We're a big group of traders that trade together every day, and I'm the one with the mic, and so I'll talk about what I see and what I'm trading and whatever, but that doesn't mean you have to do exactly what I do. Yeah, most people learn about Forex the hard way. But man, it's a huge market. There are a lot of people trading Forex because they believe it's just easier or something. It does attract a lot of people because it takes like no money to get started. So it's a very low barrier to entry. So that's most people's introduction to trading is that Forex. And boy, it's a wake up call. Fortunately, I never really got into Forex. I started with futures and been there ever since. 0. Start with $0. Yeah, Frank, that would be right around in the minimums for a single contract. And then every $2,500 or so, you could add a contract. But I would start with $0, Armin, and learn how to trade this system first by practicing. You'll know when it's time, when you become proficient. Why waste money when you don't know what you're doing, when you're not good at it yet? So start practicing, start working at it, sim trade, do this practice sessions using playback. Hone your skills before you ever trade your first dollar. It is, if you're an Einstein member, yes, Bill, it's part of our, uh, it's called the Fast Forward program. That's the self-paced training program. And the trade room is recorded and it's part of that program. And we teach you how to use those recordings along with playback and teach you how to practice using all of those tools. And that's part of the Einstein program package. All right, Frank. See you in the room. Have a good weekend. Sure. We're pretty open door around here. You go to our support at theintentionaltrader.com or support at secondbraintrading.com, and your support ticket comes right to my desk. We're on Skype, email. We're always around. We're easy to reach. Okay. Well, if we can help you with that, let us know. Come hang out with us in the trade room next week. All right. Any more questions that I can answer to help you make an informed decision on joining up with us this next week? I am. I will always be here. Oh, absolutely. Connor is going to be Johnny on the spot with a link to our YouTube Trade of the Day videos that we post maybe a couple a week, maybe. Sometimes we get busy and we don't post some. But yeah, tons of videos on our YouTube channel. Awesome. Thanks, Bill. Look forward to it. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Let's have a nice rest of our weekend. If you think of a question, you've got our email. Goes right to our support desk. Be happy to help you any way we can. And if you want to come hang out with us in the trade room and see what we do, we'll see you next week. Connor still got that one discounted package left for $45.99, and then it's still a good discount at $46.99 because it's normally $58.56. I did not have a stellar week, Armin. I think it was about a break-even week for me. Other traders in the room had a good week. I think I was up a little bit, but it was not one of my best trading weeks ever. Also wasn't horrible. Great. Look forward to it, Bill. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day and weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye now.